Good evening. This video will be like a story time video, I guess. I was thinking about making it a metal fairy tales, even though it's not really metal. But the metal fairy tales take like a lot of work and effort compared to what I'm usually doing. And you know, it wasn't metal and it wasn't exactly like a fairy tale, so I thought I would just kind of do this more casual chit-chat story time video where I talk to you about the recent trip I took to Atlanta to see the Birthday Massacre. And I can't remember if it was my third or fourth time to see them. I think it was my fourth. But this happened back in June, right after their album came out, their latest album, Under Your Spell. Oh, and before I got into this, I did want to say that now that I've gotten to spend some time with that album, since I made my first impressions video, I really do like the album. I think it's great. I think almost all the songs are worth listening to and are songs that I would go out of my way to listen to. There are only two that I just didn't like. The two songs, I can't remember, one of them was called Unkind, and I don't remember the other one. So since there are only two songs out of the, 10? Is it 10 songs? 11? Since there are only two that I just genuinely didn't like, I genuinely liked all the other ones. So the album for me is good, it's a go, I'm digging it, I'm into it. Okay, so when I decided I wanted to go see the Birthday Massacre in June after the release of their new album, I had a few friends that were on board, and Zach could not come for whatever reason. So three of my friends, Carolyn, Sarah, and Sky, of course, you all know Cemetery Sky if you've been here before, they all decided they wanted to come with me. And then my best friend from kindergarten, her name's also Sarah, she was gonna be a couple states away and was gonna meet us there for the concert. So I was really excited because I very rarely go to concerts with a group of people, so this was gonna be special. So I was just like, I was planning to get together in the afternoon, drive over there, be there that evening, eat dinner, go to the concert, and then drive back. But some of my friends wanted to get there earlier in the day and spend some time in Little 5 Points, you know, roaming around in the shops and stuff. And I was like, I guess. I don't really like driving around in cities by myself, but I was like, whatever. So we all met at my house, and then I drove all the way to Atlanta, and it was about 2.5, 3 hours. We did run into some traffic, and it was in the heat of June. In my car, I don't have this car anymore, but my car was not doing so well. I was driving it for 12 years, and it almost overheated sitting in the traffic, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen to us? But we made it. So we get to Little 5 Points. We find a parking spot, which was miraculous. And we went in the Junkman's Daughter, we went in a couple of crystal shops and you know, some consignment shops and stuff. Went to a record store, and all that was fine and good or whatever. Like, I didn't really have any money to spend, but the shops were cool. But I would say that it was definitely not worth it. And the reason is that the street harassment was incessant. And it's something that like gets me a little worked up just thinking about it. So I wanted to take a minute to talk about it. Like everywhere we were, people were hollering at us. They were coming up on us. They were, you know, calling us sexy and like saying, do you want to come to a party with us? And we'd be like, no thank you. And then they'd be like, F you, and just everywhere, just yelling everywhere. And it's the first guy, he wasn't that bad. Now, he was walking past us and he just said, you ladies all look very beautiful, and he just kept walking, and that was okay. But other than that, I just felt like everyone was invading our space and not talking to us in a respectful way, and a lot of them were asking us for money and things, and it was really scary. Now Sarah was good at handling that, but I just kind of like freeze up, and I just don't know how to respond. Like, I just feel like I need to get away And so there was even a time where I just didn't know what to do, so I got in my car and turned it on, so all my friends got in the car while this guy was still talking to us. And like, this guy was still talking to Sarah, and she was sitting there with the door open, and I was like, just get in and close the door! I just screamed that, and so she finally got in and closed the door. But then I was like, well, now we're all in this car, and he's just standing there, so now we have to drive away because we can't just get back out because he didn't walk away. We drove around for a bit. Anyway, it was just like, it was very stressful. And I have a real issue with street harassment because I just want to be a person. I don't want to be viewed as a pretty lady. Like, I don't want to be viewed as a target, I guess, or objectified in any way. Like, and I thought it would be okay. Like, I'm kind of scared of little 5 points, but I thought that it would be okay because there's a big group of us. But it didn't matter because we were a group of women who were all like super pretty and dressed up for a concert. And, you know, it bothers some people less than others, but it bothers me a lot, and I don't think I'm ever gonna go back there. It was incessant, and I mean this literally. Like, you know when you played a game where like everything was hot lava except for these safe spaces? Well, the stores were the safe spaces and the sidewalks and streets were hot lava. Yeah, I'm never doing that again. So if you're one of my friends that wants to come with me to Atlanta, we ain't stopping anywhere. Except for maybe one restaurant. A safe restaurant. We did eat after I drove around to escape the street harassers, and then I lost my parking spot and finally found a new parking spot and felt like a total idiot for wasting everyone's time and like losing my spot. We ate at Vortex, which was a cool looking restaurant. It looked like a skull, and it was really good. It was a cool place. We had fun there, felt safe there. Saw some girls wearing bunny ears in there, and we knew where they were going later that night. Finally, it was time to escape Little 5 Points and go to the masquerade. And you cannot imagine how much my anxiety was alleviated by getting out of Little 5 Points. But the anxiety wasn't over yet because the masquerade had been moved to a completely new venue that I had never been to before. So I was hoping for the best when it came to finding the spot and finding the parking and all of that. It was actually quite easy. We found it. There was a parking deck, and the parking deck connected directly into the masquerade, so you didn't have to worry about any more hot lava. And even at the old masquerade, there was some hot lava. My friend Daryl was already there, who I didn't get to see till the end. And then Sarah got there Sarah number 2 got there a little while after we did. My first time in the new masquerade, it was really cool. It was really clean. It was well lit. It didn't feel like it was about to fall down. But that's not to say that I don't miss the old masquerade with all my heart. You know, when I really like think about everyone I had seen on that stage, it was kind of sad to know I wouldn't ever be in there again. But at the same time, the masquerade itself, it's not a physical thing. So the spirit of the masquerade just moved to a new location, and that makes all this easier. Okay, so the bands that were playing this night with the Birthday Massacre were Sumo Psycho, who I thought the lead singer looked familiar. I'd never heard of this band before, but I thought the lead singer looked familiar, and I didn't know why. It's because her name is Sky Sweetnam, and she was like a little pop star in like the early 2000s or something. And then the second band was Army of the Universe. They were like, you know, cool, industrial. And then it was time for the Birthday Massacre. The crowd how long has that been like that? The crowd at the Birthday Massacre concerts are very interesting and diverse. The Birthday Massacre to me kind of stands out. They're like set apart from most of the other music I listen to. Even from the electro-industrial scene, they're kind of like in their own little niche. So you do get a wide range of people at their concerts. I mean, it's shown in my friend group that was there. We were all very different and diverse. So of course it's always exciting when the band comes out, and it's so satisfying to see a band who you know and love every single one of the songs they play. They actually had to have a substitute drummer because the substitute they were gonna have was like saying some racist things on the internet, so they had to fire him, and so they got this new drummer, which was funny. Like, I didn't know him, but I didn't know like who he was or why they had to have him. And it turns out he's like done stuff with like Carly Rae Jepsen or something. Well, all my friends were like, he doesn't really seem to fit in with the band, and now I know why. Okay, so I'm just gonna read off the set list for y'all really quick in case anyone likes these, because I always like to save them. 1, Red Stars. Looking Glass, All of Nothing, Counterpane, Destroyer. Divide. Superstition. Lover's End, my favorite. Happy Birthday, Video Kid, Under Your Spell, No Tomorrow, Leaving Tonight. Alibis, my other favorite. Pins and Needles, In the Dark, and then the last 3 were the encore. Blue, I Think We're Alone Now, and Broken, which I thought was really cool. They ended with Broken. Because I don't consider that to be like one of their most popular or whatever, but maybe it is and I just am out of the loop. Okay, y'all. Time for a little rant. Vapors at these concerts. Okay, so I understand why you're vaping so much, because you feel great that you can smoke indoors because it's not real smoke. And you feel cool because you're like a human fog machine adding to the ambience of the concert. But we don't want to smell that! So yeah, the concert was great. I had lots of energy, jumping around, dancing, singing. It was awesome. Some guy like hit on Sky and then hit on Carolyn and then hit on Sarah. I don't know, but he hit on like multiple people from the same group, even though he saw like we were all in the same group. Whatever, he didn't win anything. And then after the show, I got to see Daryl. I went with him to a Birthday Massacre concert years and years ago. I might make that into a Metal Fairy Tales because it was such a great time. And just like that, it was over. I had a really great time being with a group of people, my bestest girlfriends, who all for once wanted to see a band I wanted to see. I love this band. They always have such good energy. Sarah and Carolyn slept in the back and Sky rode with me in the front, and thank goodness she could talk my ear off for a long time to keep me awake. And we made it home. And that was my story about going to see the Birthday Massacre for my 4th time in June of this year. It was great. I just learned some things. I just learned I'm never going back to Little 5 Points again, unless I'm thinking about getting just a huge scary looking bodyguard. So one day when I'm rich, I'm just gonna get one of them. I will probably talk about other Birthday Massacre shows in the future in more of a Metal Fairy Tales format, since some of them have been extra magical. Alright, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. Good night and goodbye forever.